Hi, I'm currently in Shanghai, China, and there's one thing that the people in China love more than anything. What's one thing I hate, but they love over here, and it is coffee. I'm currently outside Starbucks. I'm currently outside a Starbucks coffee, but the thing is, Starbucks coffee is the biggest coffee chain, I would say, globally. But in China, is it in China? In China, especially in Shanghai, they have so many coffee shops that Starbucks can not keep up anymore. So this giant Starbucks is slowly just fading out in the east, and the reason for it, the reason why it is still relevant in some parts of China. I'm running, traffic about to go. I'm still. The reason for that is because Starbucks is not keeping up with the prices, and a lot of people think Starbucks is an American brand and doesn't understand the Chinese people, or represents the East very well. A lot of people like to see Starbucks in other places of the world as a luxury brand, But here, the Chinese in particular like to go elsewhere, and we're gonna explore those places. Even maybe try a cup of whatever, right? And see how it goes. And even though Starbucks still has like huge stores like this one right behind me here, in very hot touristy spots, there is still one when you walk around the streets in Shanghai in particular, you see one very particular cup. Like, you don't see a lot of Starbucks cups. Even though I'm outside Starbucks right now, I still see people with a different kind of cup. And I'm guessing there still has to be somewhere around here. So we're gonna go check it out. So yes, in China I have these cafe branches. It's called, I don't know what it's called. I don't know me what it's called. And maybe even like small trucks like this one, never mind cafe. But there is one in particular. If we just walk down the streets a little bit, it's called Luckin Coffee. We're gonna get a drink from there in a minute, and that's where everyone seems to be getting their coffee from. In China, they have a lot of like discounts and delivery apps, and you can get coffees for a certain price, like way cheaper than you would at Starbucks. So because these like Chaggy and Luckin and all these other Chinese companies, they're integrated in these Chinese apps and everything. They have way better ways to communicate with the Chinese population. Also, the reason why I'm highlighting Luckin Coffee directly is because Luckin Coffee is opening branches in America already. I think they're already in New York, but again, I don't drink coffee at all, but I just find it very interesting. So we're gonna go into Luckin Coffee. Even though this store itself is a little bit small, we're gonna try get one drink. I'm going to try to order by Luckin Coffee, and there's no one here right now. So what we're gonna do is, one of the apps, it is called Alipay, and we're gonna scan this QR code right here. And once we do that, we will be in the Luckin Coffee mini app, allowed to use location, and then I think we will be greeted with the whole menu here, and then we can just go. And that's, every place has this, is with WeChat or with Alipay. Just scan the QR code. They aren't, a lot of places that you go to, they aren't people taking your orders. It's just like this. Starbucks probably has this as well. And yeah, it's a little bit difficult because sometimes not everything translates, but we're just gonna have a look what they offer. I cannot read any of this because, you know, here we are. So I'm 30 minutes, so this is the location I'm at. So as you already see, these prices here, 9, 13. So if you have to imagine, like, every 10 is almost like 1 to 11 euros. So that means a whole coffee here, like a raw coconut latte, can cost like less than 2 euros, maybe less than $3, which is already way cheaper than Starbucks. Because I think Starbucks in China, a drink might cost you $4 to $5. So if you're competing with these type of prices, where you know, let's say whatever this is, I'm guessing it's a latte, maybe. If that costs like, let's say, $1 or $1.30 compared to $4 in it is so humid and hot in China, compared to Starbucks, then yeah, of course people are gonna go there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get this because this is what looks the most interesting to me as of right now, even though I haven't looked at the whole menu. We're just gonna get something. Again, I am not a huge coffee drinker. Well, I'm just gonna look what I can decide on and I'll let you guys know. Okay, I have decided to go for the matcha latte. Like, that's it. I didn't even look at the whole menu. I was like, all right, this is pretty safe. We're gonna go for the large cup. How do we want it? I think I'm gonna say standard sweet, and I'm gonna have it iced because I'm dying out here. And yeah, so we have an option to have the oat milk as well. I guess I'll just go without cream, add to cart, or I should have just pressed order immediately. That would have been way better because I don't know where this cart is. Okay, we have here. And we're gonna Alipay, because since we already are in the Alipay app where my card and everything is connected, we're just gonna press agree. And it's sometimes the first time when you order something, it asks you for so many permissions, but we should be good in a minute if I just know what it's asking me for. Sometimes the translation can take a while. So yes, this is how much we ended up paying for a coffee and some cake. For some coffee and some cake. It did show that it was £1.65. So for a coffee and some cake, it was a large matcha latte and some cake. So that's less than probably $3. And I think Starbucks, it doesn't adjust to prices in China, so I can see why this might be something. So let's pick up the order if we can and see what happens next. Again, this is our order here. This is our order here, as we see. And yeah, we are literally standing right next to the coffee shop. I'll just like put myself to the side and we should be good. Again, that was the price that we paid. And yeah, let's see what we get. So we ended up getting our order. This is I guess it's a mochi, I guess. Looks like an apple. And we got the latte. It came very quickly. And yeah, as I said, Starbucks, people are just supporting the Luckin Coffee. Well, the only downside, I guess, for this is like, yes, this is super cheap here in China with the prices. Like, you probably can get a drink for less than for $2. But the prices that they have here in China are not the same prices being replicated in the US. So what happens is people, I think, decided to go to these coffee brands like Luckin and the other one that I showed, and decide for those ones. Even though if Starbucks is considered a high luxury brand, they like this because it's half the price and maybe even better, or if it's the same for half the price, that's what it is. So it's not only Starbucks that is suffering as an American brand. I do have a list here, and if you give me a moment, so I'm just going to read out from my notes. It says Uber exited China in 2016. So Uber was, Uber is a very, very big company. They have Didi here, which is also integrated in the Alipay and the WeChat system, everything. And I think Uber just kind of failed to read the Chinese culture at the time. So yeah, they tried to enter the Chinese market and just ended up going out. We have Walmart losing stores and closing some of them. I went to Walmart the other day. It was actually quite good, but again, there's other places that Chinese people would rather go to. We have Nike, pressure from local brands like Anta and Li Ning. Li Ning are just, the Chinese are supporting their own brands like Anta. I think Kyrie Irving is part of Anta. Li Ning is, I think, it's Jimmy Butler. Basketball players, they support. They are part like of the Olympic team. They make the clothes for them and everything. And yeah, that's what happened. So, and the reason is China obviously has over like what? Hi, from England. I did not do any research on this, but I will say this: I've been to Japan. I haven't seen this in South Korea, but for some reason, so someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. KFC is booming in China. Okay, for some reason, every time I walk past KFC, it's full. Okay, like they love KFC. I know in Japan they do like a thing for Christmas with KFC, like you have to pre-order the buckets and stuff like that. KFC in Germany, super great. KFC here, even in England, is a good business. Because the reason why I mention this is because for some reason, every time I speak to Americans, like on Discord and stuff like that, they say KFC is hideous. It's like maybe it's because of hideous, it's not good, maybe because of the regulations of the chickens that they have in America. So maybe it's not like actual good food. I don't know. But yeah, KFC is booming in China. Okay, I don't know if it's maybe just in Shanghai, maybe it was a good weekend, maybe it had something on sale. I personally didn't go. The menu is drastically different than over there. Like if you look up Chinese menus for like Pizza Hut, KFC, or McDonald's, or like all these other American brands, they are vastly different in China. And the only reason why I say that is because again, I've been to the States, I am in Europe. There's not a drastic change from like these fast food restaurants, but for some reason in China, it's popping off. So yes, Western companies are like dropping in sales and stuff like that. Not a lot, but you know what I mean. It's happening. But I mentioned like Starbucks and stuff like that. But yes, I just wanted to put it as a note here. KFC is thriving. Okay, so if you love KFC, yeah, it's lit over there. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. A billion people. So the Chinese market is something that Western companies like to invest in. And even though Starbucks is great in other countries in the world, around the world, just the Chinese market is so hard to capture. You know what I mean? Even if you can get 10% or 20% of the Chinese market, people yearn for that. So a 1 to 3 or 5% drop off yearly means a lot to these companies like Starbucks. So yeah. So with Starbucks having all these problems with its unions and stuff like that, and failing to capture the Chinese market, maybe they have captured the Chinese market, but the numbers are going down. Do you think this is just something that is irrelevant? Well, they haven't got the Chinese market that can just dominate everywhere else, or is this like a slow fall where things from China are starting to go into the Western market? We might see China dominate those, where they just dominate that market. So that's that. But that's just my take, very quickly, about the coffee. And we're going to see in the next video. But I don't really know what is what. I'm standing next to, you can maybe just see the outlines of it, McDonald's. And I've been to McDonald's plenty of times here in China, just because the meals are like literally $2 to $3. So, and they are relatively full. Not in Shanghai. When I went to Guangzhou, is that how you say it? Guangzhou? McDonald's is relatively full. So the people do like these companies, but the question is, for how long? Again, I know there's like some other substitutes, Chinese substitutes, but I don't know what it is with Starbucks. It's relatively, a lot of times when I do go walk past Starbucks, they are empty. The first Starbucks I was at, I've never seen someone in there. So, and yeah, as I said again, normally I don't have one of those blue cups, but normally you see people with those blue locking cups everywhere. If it's that or the other one, the Shangxi, my Mandarin isn't the best. It's actually non-existent, but that's what it is. So again, I love Shanghai. We are fucking, it's marvelous. It's good shit. And yeah, if there's anything else, well, by the time you see this video, I've already left Shanghai and China. But if there's anything else you want to see in China or something like that, make sure to let me know. So next time when I come by, I can cover that topic, or any of the neighbor. I'm always in China. I'm in Korea. I think I haven't been to Japan over 6 years, so I might go there as well, maybe next year, and see how things are going since I've left. Speaking about the devil, Starbucks right there. I'm sweating just to prove my point a little bit more. I'm standing right outside a Starbucks, and as you see, there's nobody in there. there's no. So and this is not like again, excuse me for my sweat. It is very hot here. This is not like a one-off. This is like most of them. Yes, China, like a lot of people don't sit and drink coffee, like they order it, like it's normally like being delivered by all their delivery apps. They don't have like Uber Eats or what else would you have? I don't know, Deliveroo or whatever. They normally, that's why you see a lot of people with these like electrical cycles picking up orders. But again, when you are walking on the busy streets like East Nanjing Road or People's Square, all of that, or in Amphilu Road, or where if it's East, is it West Nanjing? West Nanjing Road. I've never like seen a Starbucks cup. And some of the Starbucks have very big, outside of Starbucks, people don't have Starbucks cups outside of Starbucks. So I don't know what's happening with Chinese netizens. Again, this is a good view. I don't know why Chinese netizens are against it or not. Maybe there is something that they know that I don't, but it's decent. Yeah.